Bitcoin now hovering around $45,000 after crossing $60,000 earlier this year. The cryptocurrency down more than 20% since Elon Musk's SNL gig, bringing down with it companies with Bitcoin on their balance sheet. MicroStrategy, Tesla, Square, PayPal, all taking hits over the past 3 months. Joining us right now is Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz. Mike, you have been a longtime bull. You've talked about institutional interest for a very long time in Bitcoin. Is that changing?
No, let's not miss the forest through the trees, right? Bitcoin's up 55% on the year. Ethereum's up 240%. We had staggering moves on a positive story, right? Of institutional adoption, of the adoption of blockchains in all kinds of business. And so I don't think anything's changed in that story. Listen, markets get ahead of themselves. They correct. This is kind of natural in markets. We had tax day yesterday. A lot of people made a lot of money in crypto and had to pay tax. You also had that big surge post-COVID, kind of finally hit the 1 year mark. So people went from short-term to long-term gains. I'm sure that triggered some people to sell. You had Elon bringing up these ESG concerns, which are real. They're going to be addressed just like every other industry addresses their ESG concerns. And so, you put those three things together, it caused a pretty nice sell-off. I think we're going to go ahead.
Let's go straight to the ESG concerns, because I think that's actually perhaps what took the price of Bitcoin down the most, and raises, I think, some real questions. Can it be addressed? Sure. Can it be addressed quickly? I think not. I don't know anybody who thinks realistically that the way Bitcoin is structured can somehow take up either less energy unto itself, though I know there are efforts for that. And then the question, of course, is, can you start using, solar and wind and all sorts of things? And I know there's efforts to do that, but that's going to take a long time. If Elon Musk has decided that he can't buy Bitcoin, how can a big institution like BlackRock even think about it?
Well, listen, they all buy Google stock, and Google owns YouTube, and YouTube uses 2.5% of all electricity, right? I mean, it's shocking. Like, things that are worth something use electricity. Bitcoin and the crypto ecosystem is an important part of the future of finance, and so it should cost something. There's a commitment, I think, and you're going to see it louder and more clear from people in the industry to say, hey, let's make this as carbon neutral as possible. All electricity in 6, 7, 8 years is going to be green anyway, right? If you look at the cost curves of solar and wind and geothermal, how fast they're coming. So there's this gap in between when I think the world has got to figure out how do we make all industries greener, not just
right. But Mike, the Bitcoin technology unto itself, as we've talked about, is about as inefficient as it comes. In fact, its inefficiency is part of the design of it, in part to create the value you're talking about. But I think there's a view that if you were actually creating a new currency or a new asset in this day and age, and you were trying to be environmentally friendly, there are lots of other coins and other ways to do it that actually would be a more efficient way to do it. And that's what I'm wondering about Bitcoin unto itself.
Listen, the market's going to decide why people like Bitcoin. It is the most decentralized. It is the most secure in that respect, right? It costs a lot to secure it because it's securing over $1 trillion on its way to 2 trillion, 3 trillion, 5 trillion.